So welcome back, families. Today we are going to be having information about an operation that just happened in the northern part of Mali, around the Aguelk region. So, according to information, another FPV drone have been knocked down, and to wrap it all up, a fiber optic drone have just been destroyed, and it was so quick. The African core troops have actually carried the drone and they are now, celebrating with the trophy they captured because, according to information, the electronic warfare capabilities have not given the FLA terrorists the opportunity to be able to infiltrate the electronic warfare hub of the African core troops that have actually pitched their tent in the northern part of Mali. But this time around, they came with a fiber optic drone. And if you look at the African core, posts where they actually place their detachments, everywhere is netted. So I don't know how those people are going to be able to strike. They've tried different means. We've seen them use lob projectiles, that are not guided because they don't have no ships to, give them some precision targeting. So they've actually failed on a large scale. And today they deployed a fiber optic drone, which is in some situation can be very, very more, decisive than the FPV drone because the fiber optic drone does not understand what your electronic warfare, means. Is saying, as long as the fiber optic cables are transmitting those signals, the fiber optic is going to go out there and is going to destroy the targets until he destroyed his target. Is not stopping. So according to the information we have now, the African core were able to circumnavigate the fiber optic drone that was sent by the FLA, and they destroyed two. One was completely destroyed. The second one had one of its wing broken and it was recovered. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is another big victory for the Malians, as they continue to maintain peace and tranquility at the northern border of Mali. Now, four terrorists were captured in the Assamaka region of Niger. And the good side of this was that they were blindfolded and they've now been thrown inside trucks. But before they were thrown inside that truck, they were thrown inside the truck as if you are throwing stones. So before they before they were disposed into the truck, what we noticed was that these guys are not Africans, they are foreigners. I'm not talking about not Africans or whatever. These guys are not Africans at all. According to the information that have been given, they said they are foreigners. So they've been captured. Now, when you capture a foreigner in a place like Niger, hanging around with terrorists is a different conversation. But it's not just the fact that they captured these guys with known terrorists. It is the fact that they were captured with several ammunitions and GPMGs. So, according to the information we're given, they said they were captured with several submachine guns. So, I mean, and when they displayed the weapons, what we were looking at was GPMGs of different variation. So, the question is, because some people are now trying to claim that they probably might be transiting through Niger, maybe they were going to Libya or something. The big question is there is no way you are a foreigner in Niger with so many GPMGs. There are official routes to pass if you were if what you were doing was actually correct. You should have gone through the official route and not go through Niger. Niger is in their war posture right now. Everybody is on high alert, and this is the wrong time for anybody to go through Niger with so much munitions and GPMGs. So everything has been recovered and they've been captured. Probably they are going to be giving the Nigerians credible intel from now on. Because when Abdurrahmani Chiani speaks in Niger, a lot of people will look at General Abdurrahmani Chiani that where is he getting this information from and all of that. So families, I'm going to tell you something very precise now. I believe that a lot of people still remember how many terrorists have been captured since the operation in the Sahel started, right? And the operation started, massively after the French left. They didn't leave, they were told to leave, right? and the Americans were told to leave. We all know how everything just, went up and all of that. So the thing is, most of this information are credible intelligence whose operational and communication security has been properly vetted by the Nigerians. Okay. These guys are some, they've captured some of the top guys in the JNIM League. They've captured some deputies. They've captured the foot soldiers. So some of them have been injured on the line of contact that, the hemorrhage did not just take them away. And unluckily for them, the troops got to them before the jihadists got to them, and they recovered them. And these guys have been giving these authorities credible information about their operational security, their operational planning, everything. And these are part of the, resources that have actually been helping, valuable human information resources that have actually been helping the Nigerians to get good operational result on the line of contact. So, which is a very, very big victory. Another four in the bag, and they will continue to give us information on what their mission in Niger is. Is it to supply the ISGS terrorists? Is it to supply the JNIM? They will continue to feed us information. So when people hear General Abdurrahmani Chiani call out names of some presidents in West Africa, they are not calling out the names of these presidents in West Africa because they just want to call the names of these presidents. A lot of people should not forget that terrorists were captured on that day. They were captured alive, they were blindfolded, and they were retrieved. So, I mean, these guys will talk. How did General Abdurrahmani Chiani know how long the operation has been in the planning? The training, the commandos that came to train them, the mapping, how they get their sit rep, during any operation, is because they don't every enemy target don't go black. They recover some and they give them intel, good intel. Remember that General Ibrahim, Captain Ibrahim Traore said that there was a time when the terrorists themselves that were captured told them that we are able to attack your troops because of their phones at night. Some of them press their phone long into the night, and probably when they are using their drones to do, their local DJI drones to run reconnaissance and all of that, they are able to spot them and they, ambush their camp and all of that. So that's the place of the human intelligence in all of this. So we're now seeing a very new development right now, most especially in Mali, because according to the information we are hearing now, there is an incorporation of the drone defense system together with the strategic defense capabilities to give the Malians this dimensional, multi-layered defense system. Like, if you come with drones, they have the capability of, neutralizing the drones. That was why, and I think these capabilities have been used in Niger Republic, during the attack on the Diori Amani International Air Base, where Air Force airport, when the terrorists were using drones, and we saw projectiles fly out from the Diori Amani airport. We saw projectiles fly, like, I think based on the video, we could see like 4 projectiles that were proper air defense capabilities. And we saw the one we saw the most was the anti-drone defense capability that fired multiple rounds and all of that. So there are all these integrations together with extensive radars that have now been deployed according to the information that is already in the public domain, so that people won't say that Andre is giving too much intel. So this is like information that is already in the public domain. So according to the information that we are given right now, the Malians are saying that there are no Malian ambassador in Algeria. That the information that have been going about that the Malian ambassador to Algeria have now gone to Algiers to resume duty, that there is nothing like that. That is probably fake and propaganda. So this is from a trusted source, Ibusi, which is a Malian geopolitical analyst. He's on the ground in Mali. He knows what's going on. This is like what he does is Mali. He doesn't do anything apart from Mali. And probably on the larger scale, secondarily, he does things that relates to the alliance of Sahel State, but primarily, he does everything that relates to Mali. So they are saying now that the information that people are getting, that the Malian ambassador have now gone to Algeria to resume duty and all of that, is false. Now it begs the question, if the Malian ambassador to Algeria has not gone to Algeria, what's going on? That's a question we should be asking now. What's going on? Probably, maybe Mali and Nigeria have not, for me, I think they've not been able to reach, they've not been able to reach a compromise for everything that have happened. But we'll continue to monitor the development, and if there is any positive outcome, we'll bring the information to you. So now, there is a critical information propaganda and media manipulation that is going on, all across the whole place right now in Africa. This information is moving at God's speed and is blowing like wildfire. That's the propaganda that the foreign media, that the foreign ministry of Nigeria, Kenya, I have not seen anything from the Ghanaian foreign ministry, but I believe that very soon they will be coming out with their own information, because these are, like I said yesterday, these are the three targeted, these are the three states that have been targeted in Africa right now. I know South Africa can be targeted, Uganda have been targeted, Sudan has been targeted. But why are we saying this? According to information, the Nigerian Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Now, this same information has been given by the Kenyan, Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So, according to information, they said the Nigerian Ministry of Foreign Affairs has issued a high alert warning to its citizens following grave and alarming report of nationals being illegally recruited to fight in the foreign wars. Right? So, at this point, let me first of all say something. Nobody can tell me that there are no Africans fighting for Ukraine. There are Africans fighting for Ukraine. But for Africans to fight for Russia is a crime. Oh, you should go and fight for the people that colonized you, not for the guys that did not colonize you. What type of satanic double standard is that? So, in foreign wars, right? But when Africans fought for France, it wasn't foreign wars. You see, it has come to a point in the Russian-Ukraine war where we are now getting to a level of paranoia where the European government are now thinking about recruiting their own citizens to go and fight on the line of contact in Russia. It's going to be very, very, in fact, it's going to be critical. The level of destruction is going to be critical. Number one, the experience on a whole different level. You see, the bad aspect of this is that Ukraine has lost a lot of good men. I'm talking about experienced men. Those experiences are not coming back. I mean, somebody that have been on the line of contact since 2022, that probably survived since till 2025 or probably 2020, you are not getting those guys back. Probably they got neutralized in an artillery attack, drone attack, missile attack. You are not getting them back. So because of this change in the efficiency on the line of contact, and most of the equipment that have been shipped to the Ukrainians have actually been destroyed. Easy peasy lemon squeezy by the Russians. So now what they are trying to do now is they are trying to look for places where they can get people. Kidnapping is just the only thing that is not possible in Africa. grab people and go and put them on the front line to fight the Russians. I think that's not possible. But one thing I want to let everybody know is that anybody that traveled to Russia knew before they left Africa that you are going to the front. Don't give me that story. That you did not know that you were going to the front line in Russia. Don't give me that story. See, it will be more believable if you were in Ukraine and you were a black person and you were captured and thrown to the front line, because their own citizens are being picked, beat up and everything, and they are being thrown to the front line, to the meat grinder. Is believable. But to say Russia, that is not even, doing anything related to active conscription as we speak. Russia have not started, bringing in wave of, Russia did not declare, they didn't declare martial law. They did not. So they said they are being illegally recruited to fight in foreign wars. The government confirmed that several Nigerians have already been deployed to active combat zones after being coerced or misled into signing military service contracts, primarily under the guise of legitimate employment opportunities. While the official statement did not name specific nation, they don't want to mention Russia. Okay? So they said the warning follows international report of African citizens being funneled into Russia-Ukraine conflict. The ministry urged Nigerians to exercise extreme caution and avoid suspicious recruitment drives in global conflict-prone areas. Authorities emphasize that these predatory tactics often target the vulnerable, leading to forced participation in armed hostility under life-threatening conditions. First of all, the last time I checked, there was this publication that came out that over 100 million Nigerian citizens are in abject poverty. They live less than, more than half of that Nigerian population, even if it's 300 million, less than 100, over 150 million to be here. Let me get to that. Over 150 million Nigerians live below $1 in a day. Below $1. Below $1 in a day. $1 is 1,300 naira. They live below in this 2026. Like I said yesterday, if there is an official platform where Nigerians can join the special military operation, okay, let me raise the bar now. Put it at 10 million, they will get. So this you see, what do I think? Now, this same information has been released by the Foreign Ministry of Kenya. This is propaganda. They would have been so happy, so happy, if these Africans that are going, they are signing to go and fight for Ukraine. In fact, it would have been the sweetest of all. That is what they would love. I have not seen any circular or any publication anywhere where people are saying that, oh, Russians are recruiting. I'm telling you, if in this Nigeria, do you know how many Nigerian soldiers have been dismissed? Do you know how many thousands of Nigerian soldiers are out there that were dismissed for nothing? Some of them, I've posted videos on this platform. I don't even want to bring multiple videos on this platform. The bad treatment. Do you know how much a Nigerian soldier is paid in a month? See, if I'm saying it again, if an official outlet that is accessible to people can be located where people can apply for that special military operation. If they hit it to 20 million bar, they will get it in less than a month. That's Africa in general. So this talk of illegal recruitment of fighters in foreign wars is not, it doesn't exist. And think Kwabena is alive. ECOWAS, look, families, listen. ECOWAS will never wake up against imperialism because ECOWAS is part of the unipolar structure. ECOWAS is part of that old world order. So if multipolarism rise in Africa right now, that would be the end of those old order. And ECOWAS and African Union is part of it. Because African Union is like an extremities of the European Union on the African continent. Look, listen. It's like talking about the AFRICOM, Southcom. Do you understand? It's like you're talking about the different arms of the United States. So the United States has them as military. The European Union have them as trade organization and all of that. What was the European Union before? It was not a military organization. It was not a military development. It was an economic, alliance. Look at Africa. What was ECOWAS? An economic alliance. So these are establishments that represent the old world order. The rise of multipolarism now, is a problem for these people. And why? The war, the war between Russia, Ukraine, Iran, and Israel. You see that war? Somebody is going down and somebody is coming out on top in that war. See, these wars are, we are living through Third World War. Third World War is not when the whole atmosphere is up in smokes. No, we are in the Third World War already. And you should know that part of, the tools of war is sanctions. It's an economic tool of warfare. So when you hear sanctions, these are economic warfare tools. So warfare is not only kinetic, it's economic, it's diplomatic. Now, the diplomatic warfare too comes in form of pressure, where they fight you, they push you to the corner, and they send envoys to you to go and have a dialogue. So every time they send envoys, they send diplomats, they send, these people to you, it's like they are trying to tell you, can you still go? So when you see all this Steve Witkoff going to Jared Kushner, going to meet what's the name, Dmitriev and all those, they want to test, like, okay, are you still there mentally? Do you still, like, we are giving, like, it's carrot and stick, do you still want more stick? So the ECOWAS is fighting for the interests of the old world order, because these people are not just there for free, they are heavily paid. Okay? And gone are the days where we will say, oh, this African leader is speaking this African leader is speaking that. When you want to know an African leader that is speaking the truth, it will look as if everything is going wrong for that African leader. And the Western media is the fastest way you will know if that African leader is anti-imperial or pro-imperial. Because if it's anti-imperial, the whole Western empire would be against that leader. So, and that is what we are having in Kenya, Ghana, Sudan, Uganda, Nigeria right now. And don't forget, the mysterious man that called himself if you go and watch the video, they were just saying the Russian man, the Russian man, the Russian man. It's a propaganda to destroy the image of that nation. Everything is well orchestrated and designed. You see, the victims, the people that came out and were hugging, we pursued this, they don't understand the play. They don't understand the play. They are just pawns in the game. These are huge, high-level operation by deep state agencies of God knows which country. They're trying to infiltrate the policies of some countries, because those countries don't even have a deep state. They don't have intelligence. Like, their intelligence network are so poor. I can't imagine that in 2026 Africans are still operating on this level. They are doing the Russian man. His name is Yaroslav or something. And when they mentioned that name, the Russians said that name in Russia is an insult. The meaning of that name in the Russian language is an insult. That they are not sure that is a Russian individual. So they made everything look, and by the time they will come back and say, oh, they find out that it was not a Russian, the image of Russian have been soiled. They know that they can no longer use the internet to really, they are still using the internet, but they know that, okay, people are getting smarter. So now the movie you watch, they are now playing it to you real life now. The question is, can you decouple? Can you discover and uncover the plots? That's why they call it deep state activities. So, but it's just so unfortunate that Africans have not been able to, African governments, in my opinion, they've not been able to build up human capabilities that, we be in charge of all these things, So now we have a development in Gabon. So Meta, Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, Meta reportedly begins talk with Gabon after authorities of Gabon suspend its platform. The Gabon authority, they suspended everything called Meta. Do you know what they did first? They said the president of Gabon and the Gabonese authority, they are trying to limit the freedom of speech. Kai. These people, they try to manipulate, they will tell lies, they will do everything. But they didn't tell you what they did in Gabon. And I love the Gabon, government. Before they came out, they already had overwhelming evidence. So according to information, Gabon's communication regulator ordered the immediate suspension of Meta platforms over content considered capable of disrupting public order, prompting the company to enter negotiation with the authorities. Families, why are we even talking about negotiation? You are trying to cause chaos in a country. You can see that those people, they've never ever brought anything into a country to, to bring peace and harmony among people. It's to cause devastation and destruction. Kai. So now they want to enter negotiation with authorities. Which type of authority will even negotiate with this type of company? That was why they were banned in Russia. They were banned in Russia. And what does Meta represent? The West. During the 12-day war, Meta was used to spy on the geolocation of the generals that were eliminated. Meta. The geolocation. Now, when they discovered after the first level of strikes that they were using Meta for geo-targeting, the next thing, everybody, but their security guards still had metal platforms on their phone, and the next thing they knocked, anywhere they see the geolocation of the security guard, they knock everything off. The first set of strikes were with high precision, but the third group started coming with heavy level of devastation, like compromising a lot of civilian lives alongside. This is how those people operate. So for me, whatever made these people even try to create division in Gabon in the first place should be a warning to the Gabon authorities that this is not negotiable. It should be a complete blockade. You shouldn't even try to sit down and negotiate. Why do they now want to negotiate? According to information, they want to now negotiate with authorities. State-owned media report citing a presidential spokeswoman, the suspension concerned digital platforms of Meta, not all social media. Now, the Gabon authorities are bringing this clarification. You know, I told you earlier, I said they lied, that the Gabonese government, they are trying to kind of stop people from having social media free speech and all of that. So when they brought the news out, everyone would think the Gabon government said no more internet. Kai, these people should know. I don't even know what they are still doing in this continent, to be honest. So now the spokesperson, the presidential spokesperson in Gabon, they said the suspension concerns only the Metal digital platform, not all social network. Melody Samba noted. Moreover, the measures taken are not permanent, but rather targeted in nature. According to her, the country's authority have been sending warning. So this is not just a one and off. According to Melody Samba, they've been sending warning to the company of Meta for a year and a half due to publication of defamatory materials that hinder social cohesion. That is the only thing they are known for. Anywhere you find them, you must see war. If there is no war, they are not there. Or those people there are not important. Who are these people, for God's sake? Eh? They've been warning them now for over a year and a half. Defamatory materials that hinder social cohesion. Guess what they are trying to do? When you hear defamatory material that hinder social cohesion, they are trying to get assets in those places. So some of those platforms that you are seeing, they are not really legitimate like that. They can compromise you even with money. With what you earn can be used to compromise you. We've talked about this thing on this platform before, where you start getting certain, if you want to earn certain amount of, if you want to improve your earning capability, this is what you should talk about. This is how you should talk about this thing and all of that. A lot of people get compromised without them even knowing. Love of money. So it begs the question, what was their mission? What was the purpose in the first place? So a lot of people, when they do things, they don't even do it they do it because it's financial motivated. That's why they are there. So, and as long as you are financially motivated and you are financially guided, yeah, you might be motivated to always do your whatever you do, but you are already an asset and you can be used to do anything. And something that can be used to do anything is no longer useful, is useless. The essence is useless. So, according to the information now, this particular ban will be, for now, according to what they said it will be indefinite. So WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, for now in Gabon. So imagine what those platforms are doing in Nigeria. Hey, God of mercy. The question is, who will save Nigerians from Nigerians? This is Gabon. A lot of countries are waking up, right? On the side, they are waking up. A lot of countries that are waking up. Nigerians are sleeping. Honestly, I believe Nigerians are sleeping. So if I can do this, that is how I think about it. If I can counter the narrative and counter the offensive like this, imagine what, let's just say 20 million among my strong Nigerians. Let's say 20 million. And Nigerians that are on the internet are more than 20 million. Oh no, but they won't do that. No. Big brother Niger, what somebody is doing, that paint powder on his head and paint powder on his body and all of that. That's what they are focused on. But do you know how many NGOs are in Nigeria that are causing chaos? How many organizations? Godless organizations. Right? Godless organization. So, ladies and gentlemen, you see, for now, I will say this. We have to be very, very careful with what we see on the social media platform. And, you know, when I see people that just come out suddenly and they just make certain claims, like we saw from a certain blogger of a certain country the other time that just said, oh, Burkina Faso need help. Are you aware that Kudugu in Burkina Faso right now, okay? In Kudugu, if you go to Kudugu now, you won't know that you are in Kudugu anymore. The Kudugu that you know in, let's say 3 years ago, is no longer the same Kudugu now. When I was looking at Kudugu, I was like, in Burkina Faso. Yeah, Burkina Faso. Not Ouagadougou. I'm hearing that the place is Kudugu. Very beautiful. Very beautiful. Take it to the bank. And these things are done by patriotic contribution, Burkinabes in diaspora, Africans in diaspora that just want to support Faso Mebo. So this is Africans doing their thing by themselves. So indirectly, they are part of the government. So if you want to come and say you want to come and negotiate with them, by the time their people are saying no, just know that nobody will accept you. So this is not those type of democracy where somebody speak against the interests of, no. They are building their country by themselves. So when the citizens are already saying, we don't want you, just forget it. It's like, I like what is going on in that country. And according to the information we are hearing recently, the Burkinabes in Spain have just donated, you know, an unbelievable amount of money. That's Burkinabe diaspora in Spain. Burkinabe diaspora. They sat down with their foreign minister to have conversation. Burkina Faso is a country, I'm telling you, growth is gradual. Everybody needs to contribute their part. So what I saw in Kudugu was so impressive. The citizens were out there. And it's just the will to build your country yourself. What environment do you want to see? Look at the Chinese during the Victory Day celebration, the recent one they did. Look at how the older generations were crying. Because China some years ago, they lived through it. But now they are seeing the China of today. If you don't build today, there is no tomorrow. So it's not a miracle that is just going to come. I know that some people have this mindset of like, if the government don't do it, you already have an enabling government. The government is ready to support you to do. Look, in Burkina Faso now, the highest percentage of the GDP is being contributed from the state-owned institution. So it's not capitalist. It's not one person coming out from God knows where. No. So they are building a society that cannot be bribed. A society that cannot be corrupted and coerced. Whatever is going on in Burkina Faso is the truth. Is the truth. So I know a lot of people will. Now, what they said it was a place before where you see red sand. You see red sand and dust and all of that. But now, it's like Lagos. That Kudugu, that one that I saw, is like Lagos. I'm telling you about some of the finest places in Lagos. That's what it looks like. The drainage, the pedestrian road, the interlockings, the trees, the fancy flowers. No. They are working with a direct architectural design of a particular plan. What that plan is, I don't know. So Burkina Faso is like the dark horse that is coming. And Burkina Faso is definitely coming. Take it or leave it. Captain Ibrahim Traore has already given the enabling environment to his people. And listen to what he said. He said, prisoners will no longer be sleeping in prison. As a prisoner, no one will be allowed to just be in the prison because you're a prisoner. He said they will now be re-educated and they will now be allowed to go and work for their country from prison, reducing their prison term. He said it's not it's not the end for them. They will be allowed to reintegrate back into the society. See, but when he said that statement, I was like, I hope that I hope Damiba is not going to be part of that reintegration project. Don't bring the conversation of Damiba here. In fact, if the whole prison in Burkina Faso can belong to Damiba, it's okay. Let him be there. See, as long as we are looking at him there, we know that this revolution is still on. Only Damiba in that prison is okay. We look at him. Good morning. Yes, the revolution is still on. That's supposed to be, in fact, the greeting for Damiba now. When you walk past and you see Damiba, be like, oh, I know you are there now. Okay, the revolution is still on. As long as it's there, the revolution is on. Yeah? So now, according to another information that we have, right? Two US private pilots are now spending 6.5 weeks plus in Guinea. According to information, when they told them to come down, they said the local sources said they were saying we are US citizens. They told the Guinean soldiers, right? We are US citizens. What is that supposed to mean? You are flying over. In fact, you did not fly over their airspace. You landed in Guinea. You say you were going to Dubai. And when they told you to come out, the first thing that came out of your mouth, we are citizens of the United States. I'm so sorry for laughing. That was what they said. And now they are past 6 weeks in the Guinea, in the Conakry prison. And you know, your prison in the US is like a 3-bedroom flat in Africa here. So when you enjoy the breeze of the Conakry prison, you will know that God does not have tribal mark. So according to the information that they are now begging Donald Trump to come to their rescue. That's what they are saying now. Their families are now begging Donald Trump, to come and intervene and all of that. And you know what their big daddy will do now? Now we want Mama to release our I will see what will happen. But one thing right here that I don't understand is why is Guinea very, very adamant? Why are they stamping their feet on the ground on this particular case? Could it be that this is more than what we are hearing on the social media? Could it just be that this is more than what it looked like? Because I don't think anybody can just hold someone down for more than a month and almost another closing to 4 weeks now, right? You can't just hold them down if it's just that they landed by, there should be something. They said they were going to Dubai. So the billion-dollar question is, where is that passenger that they were taking to Dubai? Why is it that now it's only the 2 pilots? Apart from the fact that they even violated the Guinean airspace, okay? They've landed and all of that. But I think it's even more than that. And based on the information we've been given, there have been some sort of diplomatic outreach to the Guinean authorities to kind of, But Mamadi Doumbouya, Mamadi Doumbouya is, according to the information we heard, they said the civilian authorities, those are the politicians, have actually allowed them to go. They said, but the military is not allowing them to go. If you watch the video I posted this afternoon, they said it's the military that is holding them down. And you know that Mamadi Doumbouya is half military, half civilian. That is what I've said this thing before, that the way the military operates is different. If you look at the leader of Gabon, right? Even when he traveled to the US, he came back with Make America. He came back with Make America Great, not Make Gabon Great. The red Make America Great cap was what was on his head. But ladies and gentlemen, the same Gabonese leader now is the one that is stopping Meta. The military, they are wired differently. If it's a civilian, let him go. We don't want problem. No, leave. You are a US citizen. Okay, take him to the prison. because the only way, the first thing that can come out from you is that you will sleep there. Now they are begging the United States government to come and get them out. Let's see how it goes. Because right now, the United States is busy in the Middle East. Very, very busy right now. So let's hope that they remember them, okay? Yes, there was a mutiny in, in the Conakry prison some weeks ago. I understand. So now let's hope that, hey, and what if these guys were agents? See, see, everything is not the way we are looking at it. So we want to see when Donald Trump will really, because Donald Trump has not really said anything. The US government is not saying anything. And if you look at Mamadi Doumbouya is US trained. It's a US trained military personnel. So the question now is, what is the deep plot in this? Right now, we're trying to assess, more Guinean channel to know the deeper dive of this particular case that is going on. They could be agents. Look at now, according to information that we are hearing right now, the French government are holding talks with some ECOWAS leader to mediate in the release of the French DGSE agents. Oh, Africa. Oh, Africa. Let me tell you about this French DGSE agent. When the Malian government captured him, Emmanuel Macron said they should release him with immediate effect. Okay. The problem with Emmanuel Macron is Emmanuel Macron felt like these people are the same. Emmanuel Macron felt like Assimi Goïta is the same as Patrice Talon. No, don't do that. Don't do that to us. Patrice Talon is not half the man Assimi Goïta. Do you know who Assimi Goïta is? Ladies and gentlemen, Patrice Talon is not half the man. No, let's forget leadership now. Those men in the Sahel, they are completely different. They are completely. Assimi Goïta is the most. In fact, I personally see Assimi Goïta as the most dangerous among those three. Quiet, decisive, no nonsense. If I commit a crime, God forbid, if I'm in problem in Burkina, I prefer to go to Ibrahim Traore, but I wouldn't want a part of Assimi Goïta or Abdurrahmani Tiani. I wouldn't want to go to Abdurrahmani Tiani at all. Abdurrahmani Tiani is a no-nonsense individual. Assimi Goïta, that guy is different. The way he walks, everything about him, the way he talks, so mature. No. So, according to the information that we are hearing now, in fact, this French DGSE agent in the name Ian Vesili, he is now a black albino in the Malian prison. Because his skin is already turning black, right? This guy has stayed in the Malian prison so much that, in fact, by the time they remove him, I'm sure they will need to check his passport twice to verify if he is still the one. Release him within 24. We are giving you 24. We are giving you 48 hours. Who? He's still there. And a lot of people will be like, oh, the French have superior firepower. They have this, they have that. Why can't they enter? Where did they want to enter? So, if a lot of people understand the military perspective of everything that is going on, you will know that the French, they will never ever dare to enter the Sahel right now. Any destabilization act will not come from the French right now. Direct destabilization, they won't do it. They won't do it. So they will probably like to use a black person to destabilize, so that they will say, oh, it's their own. Okay? They will say, probably they will say, oh, it's somebody from their country that doesn't want him again. And they would have paid agents. Remember that when they used amoeba, I told a lot of people right there, I said, the amoeba does not look like, this does not look like a amoeba's operation. That operation was beyond the amoeba. I said, this looked like a French operation. When you are talking about decapitation strike on the entire leadership. And if you think that they've not reached out to the entire leadership one by one, then you don't understand how deep this can get. They must have reached out to the entire leadership of Burkina Faso, and they've been able to discover that these people will not compromise their people. Let's take them out completely. That's it. And a lot of people would have looked at it. Why would they have reached out to the entire leadership one by one? Yeah, anybody can be an agent. Anybody can be an asset. Probably some of them will be like, okay, maybe you can get them credible intelligence. Okay, get us the schedule, the traveling schedule of Ibrahim Traore. Where will he be on so day? Where will he be on so day? How will he travel on so month? Where will he be? See, anybody can be an asset as long as they have access to key institution. So they've discovered that it's not possible. And they've tried some personnel when it comes to the military level, and they've seen that these people will not compromise. That was why it was planned to be a bloody coup. So this only means now that everybody ruling Burkina Faso right now in that leadership cadre, those guys are the best for now. They are the best. They're the cream of the crop. The fact that France, the plan is to take all of them out. That's the nail on the wall right there, that these guys are the best you can get. But if they were trying to protect them, just know that they are the worst of the worst. And look at Mali too. You know what happened in Mali was the worst among the selected. They came out by themselves. The worst among the selected best came out by themselves. Abbas Dembele, Nema Sangara, all of them came out. I told a lot of people, I said, they would try to infiltrate person by person. How bad do you want your people to be liberated? That's the question. There is this saying out there that everyone has a price. But at least now we know that not everybody has a price. I don't know, but I feel different about Assimi Goita, to be honest with you. That guy is different. Is too different. Assimi Goita is not a regular. That's why I say Mali has a different level of leadership. You look at Maiga, you look at Diop, you look at Goita. You see those three is almost unfair to have those three type of leaders, you know, on your leadership board. Goita, Maiga, Diop, those three, they are different. But you know, when you come to Nigeria, my country, now let's go to Nigeria. We have an information from Nigeria. This information is going to Nigerians now. The information we're having from Nigeria now is that Tinubu to Nigeria. That's today when the Ramadan began. Now, forgive me if I have sinned against you. That's what Tinubu is telling the Nigerians now. If the president of a country can come out and apologize like this, ladies and gentlemen, this is not fair anymore. For Tinubu to come out and apologize to Nigerians, I'm telling you, these guys that they have jumped our eyes. Forgive me if I have sinned against you. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has appealed to Nigerians to forgive him if he has sinned against them, urging the citizens to embrace unity, peace, and moral renewal at the start of the Ramadan. So the question is, if he is apologizing at the beginning of the Ramadan, after the Ramadan is gone, what will he do? And let's stop this kabuki theater that during Ramadan, you know, people that are evil by nature will not continue to be evil. Now, I'm going to be monitoring the military operation during this Ramadan. My question is, would these jihadists still be fighting during this Ramadan? Because what I notice is that before they do anything, they say As-salatu, As-salamu, they say La ilaha illallah, Muhammadu Rasulullah. They say all those things. So now we will find out. Are you going to take a life during Ramadan? This is where we are going to find. In fact, once I notice any operation, I'm going to come out completely. So now, earlier today, I brought out a video to everyone. The Zamfara state government in Nigeria, they bought 3 drones and several armored personnel carrier vehicles. According to what they said it will improve their operational capability and all of that. Ladies and gentlemen, I won't deceive you. When I look at the number of vehicles and I compare the number of vehicles to the number of drones, I told myself, these guys are going to be throwing some people to the meat grind. If you look at the way the jihadists have been attacking the Nigerian forces, to me, sometimes you see these guys, they are fighting blind. Ladies and gentlemen, sometimes the Nigerian troops are fighting blind. They cannot see the enemy. Like they don't even know, they don't even know where the enemy is shooting from. But ladies and gentlemen, the question is, why is Nigeria still cooperating with the US and Israel? Why? In Burkina Faso, it's so unfortunate. When the Fosatek were chasing the JNIM into the Ivorian territory, the JNIM troops were not looking back. They were running. In fact, some of them jumped over that river. They were not looking back. You know, sometimes you run so bad, you don't even want to look at what is chasing you, because you know every second you spend looking back is a delay. So even your weapons sometimes. Now, don't forget, these people entered Burkina Faso from Ivory Coast. They entered with motorcycles, but they left the motorcycle. We are giving this to Burkina Faso. We don't need. Sometimes even to mount the motorcycle is dangerous. Sometimes the fastest means to escape for you is your legs. So, but let me now get to let me get to the important detail here. The important part of this is that as the Forza Tech were picking these guys apart, now before the whole battle started, Burkina Faso is on a different level. Let's be honest with ourselves. The drones were already there. The drones have already spotted them. Like the way Burkina Faso, the way their operational security, the way it works is just different. There's a place for intelligence, there's a place for reconnaissance, there's a place for operational planning, there is how they deploy, mission plan, everything. And they were running and the drone was zoomed in on them like this. So every shot you are firing is almost an effective shot because they are picking out the direction. They are giving you the coordinates. This is where this person is. This is where that person is. This person is going to cross this side. Like, that is why sometimes, because this is an attritional war, you see the Burkinabe troops, they deploy 6, 9, and you're having about 20-something terrorists. And they are deploying limited troops because the technology, we are living in a time where technology has been able to beat down the asymmetric warfare completely. There are eyes everywhere. The terrorists are blind, right? But the troops are looking. And when you see the Burkinabe troops, when they are about to fight, the way they move, they duck, they wait, they are receiving instruction, they are working on instruction. When you look at the analysis of General Abdurrahmani Chiani, you will know that these people, they are operating on a different level. But in Nigeria, when you see the first thing you will hear on every video, go and look at all the videos on social media. This is Sambisa Forest. This is Sambisa Forest. We are under attack. We are under attack. That is the only thing you will always hear. Have you no eyes in the sky? We are under attack. We are under attack. The next thing, the sound of the bullet you will hear, the sound that you will hear, you will think maybe it's 1,000 against 1 million. But what you won't know is that the Nigerian troops are good, but because some people are criminals, and let's be honest, all these things, they've appropriated some budgets for these things. But some criminals are somewhere that are embezzling the funds. Nigeria has so much money to the point that every local government can have 4 drones in Nigeria. Every local government. Do you know how many people are in Nigeria? If Nigerians are to even donate for the military to improve their operational capability alone, the military, in fact, they will be 1 to 4 if the citizens alone are to donate. There are some citizens in Nigeria that can donate what 1 million citizens can donate. I'm telling you. But there are some people. That is why you see that Nigerians are not, they don't like this country at all. This is the fact. When you see this foreign affairs saying that issue of high alert and all of that, do you know how many Nigerian soldiers are complaining they're complaining of bad salary and all of that? Bad salary. Some of them have not been paid. So Nigerian authorities do not care about Nigerians. So, and in a way, right, Nigerians themselves don't care. See, this is how it is. The authorities do not care about the people. It has now come to a place where the people no longer care about the country. That's the fact. That's why you see that Nigerians are very quick to leave the country. The people ruling this country, I don't know where they are from. So when you look at the way the soldiers even load out sometimes, I was looking at the battle in Mandara where the SVIB, you know, the suicide bomber ran into them and everything. You know, there was no drone. Now they are now to counter The ISWAP drone. Now, ISWAP guys are using DJI drones they bought on Temu. DJI drones they bought on ordinary platforms like Jumia. This is where their drones are coming from. It's not like they are using drones that are coming from heaven. Normal drones. But our troops are going to the front line. They are underpaid. They cannot afford that drone by themselves personally. And probably even if they buy the drone by themselves, somebody is going to come out and query them. If you look at the way our troops are being thrown to the meat grind, sometimes you will wonder, who are the people leading these guys? Now look at the Zamfara state. They bought a lot of vehicles. These people are more interested in show off. They bought a lot of vehicles, few drones. In this modern combat that we are looking at, you are buying few drones. Few drones. See, we've got into the era of drones. It's no longer carrying one big vehicle to intimidate anybody. You are not going to intimidate the bandits in the bush. Now imagine you are fighting a troop, you are fighting guerrilla forces that are using, asymmetric warfare. You are now buying vehicles. That is like throwing troops to the meat grind, because they're just going to be planting improvised explosive device, and many body bags are going to be coming back home. That is even if they retrieve them. I have heard stories of people leaving men behind. They left them behind and they ran for their life. So this is the problem we have. Corruption is America is not here to do anything. America is not in Nigeria to fight terrorism. The terrorists in Nigeria are those that are stealing money. And imagine, now they are asking for forgiveness from Nigerians. Where is the forgiveness from? People that still try to change the electoral bill recently. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would say this, that the developments going on in the Alliance of Sahel right now is a huge development, given the capabilities that we are seeing on the line of contact and how quick the AES forces are able to consolidate and bring in new counter capabilities. Because there was a time there was improvised explosive device, we started seeing counter capabilities like some vehicles that would help them to, destroy the IED and all of that. They discovered that those vehicles were not working well. They brought in sensors. They discovered that those ones were not effective. They've now brought in even new capabilities. So these people in the Sahel, they are not telling Americans to come and save them. They are learning. See, apart from the fact that they are experienced, they have a lot of generals that are experienced. They are learning. They are improving. That's the good thing about war of attrition, is that people develop experience as it's. They are developing. They are progressing. Now look at the type of experience someone like Watao will have. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point, and there is a commander in Mali. I think his name is Famuke Kamara or something like that. That is another dangerous fighter in Mali. Is it Famuke Kamara? It's the one that normally leads the Malian convoy. The hydrocarbon convoy is the one. I don't know if it's a general or a commander. Famuke Kamara. Thank you. That's the name. He's another bad motherfucker. Earlier this week, if you see what they did to the JNIM in Zikaso, he maneuvered them to the point that, he maneuvered them to the point that the JNIM were planning to sabotage some of the fuel convoy so that they will come out with the PR video and say that, oh, fuel blockade, and their sponsors will help them use their legacy media to blow it up. This guy made sure that none of them returned home. So, unfortunately, the people we believe are the giants, they are falling our hands from left to right. And the countries we are not looking at now. We are beginning to see people. I would say that I'm lucky to have been able to experience the name Watao. I would say I'm lucky to have been able to experience the name like Famuke Kamara. But I don't know about Niger. I've not really paid too much attention on the Niger. But the body counts that the Nigerians are dropping is scary. You are hearing 48, captured 28. You are hearing 90 something. Sometimes we hear 100 and something. What is going on in Niger? What is going on? Like who are these people? And that is why I continue to say this will be a not Sadio Kamara. His name is Famuke. Famouke. Famuke Kamara. That is why I said this war is a protracted war. It's going to be long because they are recruiting from all other states. And they are able to recruit from those states because the leaders in those states are probably conniving too. So we've been able to hear from General Abdurrahmani Tiani now that the Beninese leaders, the Ivorian leaders, they are not supporting the fight because of any. They said they are supporting because they are scared of this war. They are scared of what will happen. It was shocking when I heard that the GNIM once told the president of Benin that they don't want any negotiation again after the end of their previous negotiation. They said they paid 90 million CFA franc. When you hear some of these statements, you will be shocked. You will be shocked. The president of 90 million CFA franc, they said the GNIM did not agree and they neutralized 97. Yeah. So the question is, I can tell you that is the difference between the military and the civilian. Some group of people have made their decision. Fine up, bam. We are not negotiating. Let's go banter for banter. Let's go to the kitchen sink. Nobody is begging anybody. I have always said this thing. I said this plan is for the entire African continent. Terrorism is the new school. So either you are joining or you are not joining. So now, families, you can see that a time will come. Probably the jihadists will raise their price. And now you've empowered them to make them believe that you will negotiate with them, as giving them this sense that they have power over you. Look at how they said, look at the information. When they entered the Ivorian territory, a lot of people that have seen the video, did you see how they started behaving? No sense of urgency. They were gisting, they were chatting. They've gotten home. They've turned another person's territory. they've taken over another person's territory completely. No fight. So that's why I tell a lot of people that it's not because some people are just bad, like Mauritania. Do you expect the Mauritanians to confront these people? Where is the capability going to come from? How many soldiers are there? So there is no fight in these dogs. The fights in those dogs are gone. They are never going to be able to say no. They are never going to. See, once that fight, we thank God that there are people that have decided that this fight, it will stop here. It will stop here. And I'm telling you, you see some of these presidents that we hear from different media, they are planning against Traore. They are planning against Traore. No. Even them, they are scared by them. They are scared for their lives. Because they don't have what it takes. They are scared. And it's not like some of these people don't want to support the fight in the Sahel. Some of them want to support. But it's the backlash that they are scared of. Are my people going to support me? Are these people not going to regime change me? So the only way this thing can happen is in a military regime. It's not in a civilian back regime. So, Mauritania. So I'm so sorry to say this. To answer that question, Mauritania is that bad. I think Mauritania is less than, when you look at the youth in Mauritania, I think they are less than 1.5 million youth. So where is the fight going to come from? So, you know, in Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger, this level of stubbornness in these places is just completely different. So, you know, some countries prefer to negotiate with the jihadists, and they don't know that and if you look at the body of the jihadists, the question is, you will discover that, you know, they are not well taken care of. So it is still the same people that are making money. So these people are milking Africa through different means. So it's time for Africa to stand up, take the bull by its horn, and confront their enemy. Wars are being fought for freedom right now. So the question is, where is Africa going to stand? Are we going to continue to say, oh, no, this and that? Oh, no. We can't continue to get whooped forever. A time has come, Africa must stand up and say, no, whatever the consequences, the older ones will not fight. We, the young ones, will be the one to fight. So all we need is the leaders to support and be like, okay, we are going to stand our ground. The older people are not going to be the one to pick up the rifle. No, it's not possible. The women are not going to be the one. The children are not going to pick up the rifle. It's the youths that are going to do it. So all we need is for these people to say no. You think if I'm not a if I'm a Nigerian, I will be scared that somebody is coming and no, I cannot. You have to do it. You don't matter at that point again. It's a fight for the coming generation. A fight for freedom is not a fight, because if you look at the bigger plan, it might come to a point where you might not even belong anywhere again. You might not even be able to identify in your own continent again. People are buying huge amount of land that is almost the size of a country in Africa as we speak. What do you think the Prospera Africa project, what do you think is all about? And gradually, do you know that they are buying lands in Kenya in a very, very big way? They are buying land in Kenya heavily. So, I mean, we are much in Africa. We have the numbers. I don't know. All Africans are not going to think this way. But for me, man, we don't care too much. If the leaders of our country say, okay, it's go time, it's go time. It's go time. Like, but our leaders are not like that. They are never, ever like that. Nobody is scared of anybody in this continent. Nobody. Nobody. I've been in the hospital for so long to the point that I've been able to realize that, okay, it's 1 second. It's 1 second. So nobody should deceive anybody. Nobody should threaten anybody again. Nobody can threaten anybody anyway. You can see that in Iran. You can see that in Iran. They are ready. And I hope they won't bow. Go all out. See, every big fight is an opportunity for somebody to become great. That is what every fight is for. You might be fighting the biggest dog in the yard, but it's take it as an opportunity for you to make a name for yourself. You can see that the Nigerians are saying that they are preparing for France. Africans cannot continue to duck and be like, no, I don't know. It's very, very embarrassing for somebody to stand up in Munich and say that it's time for them to go back to colonize which people? Hey, if they fell in Niger, they will fall in Africa again. So, ladies and gentlemen, and you know the people I'm talking about. So, it's your boy 72 Andre signing out. Enough said. This is just one of those off-the-cuff session. It's not like a regular session. This is an off-the-cuff session. So, ladies and gentlemen, Europe is preparing to recolonize Africa. Well, it will be down to our leaders. It will be down to our leaders, and it will be down to capabilities. Who told you that one person has one God somewhere that is special than the God we serve here? Gone are those days. Look, nobody will come into Africa with their boots on the ground and win. You cannot win. I don't know where you are coming from. You cannot see draw. Let's forget about victory. You cannot see draw. So that's why I wonder that some of these African leaders are just messing around with us. And like I said, the older people are not going to be the one to fight. The children are not going to fight. The women are not going to. It's the men that are going to fight. So I don't know why anybody is scared, but it's the older people that are always scared. Scared of what? So, ladies and gentlemen, this is just one of the off the cuff session, like I said. So, I really, really want to appreciate everyone for coming back. You know, there's a lot of eye-opening information right here, and the Western media continue to propagate this anti-Russian rhetoric and all of that. You know, yeah, they are coming with company. That's the best way. But if they come here with guns are blazing, you know, you know. I'm from a fighting tribe, you know, so I don't really care too much like that. So thank you so much and God bless you. I really appreciate everyone for coming back. You know, Andre is here once again, and I hope I've been able to give you value today. Even though at the end of the video, you know, I went off the cuff, you know, but I love you all, man. It's just nice having to spend time with so many people in the Andre community today, and I really, really love it. Thank you, and God bless you, man.